Okay, so I've been thinking today, what is going to be the most beneficial thing to tell you? And I was trying to go back into my dieting history and losing weight, and you do all the exercise, and you do the exercise, you eat less, you battle your demons, you psychologically go through everything. But there's one thing that understanding it made firstly, my diet journey so much easier. And when I give this to people, it literally doesn't register of how important it is. Just fixing my camera, but it is very important. So I'm going to give you the mental model that I use for it. And today I'm going to talk about electrolytes. Don't switch off. Don't switch off. You've heard it before. Electrolytes from Powerade, from your Prime drinks, from, what is electrolytes? So I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't need electrolytes. I'm a hard cunt. It's fine. I'm just, I don't need electrolytes. And in saying this, I would do a lot of physical activity, 3 hours a day, what I'm kind of doing now. So electrolytes has three things in them. Okay, so electrolytes, when we talk about electrolytes, it's the balance of these three things: potassium, salt, magnesium. Magnesium, potassium, salt. Most of them you should be aware of. Salt, easy. We know what salt is, right? Magnesium, you might have had it for joint relief or muscle pain. So you've probably had that as well. And potassium, you may have heard it's in like bananas and things like that. So anyway, upon a deep dive, when you do low carbohydrates diets, or you're doing a lot of exercise, you expel water. And out of that water comes a bit of sodium, a bit of potassium, a bit of magnesium. You literally lose minerals. What happened for me, though, in understanding something was when I researched into potassium. The recommended daily dose of potassium is 4,000 milligrams. 4,000 milligrams. And I was like, okay, that's great. So I'll just find a vitamin with that much potassium. And then I kept going around everywhere, and every product that has potassium in it has only like 100 milligrams. So I was like, do I need to take 40 of these? That's impossible. It's well over the recommended daily intake. And even potassium or electrolyte drinks would only have 100 milligrams of potassium. So I'm like, what's going on here? Lo and behold, I find that potassium chloride, specifically, actually can kill you. It's like, whoa. Okay, and it's because it can kill you in such small quantities, like it can literally make your heart stop, that is why you can't buy food grade potassium in more than 100 milligrams a dose. And I was like, all right, interesting. And I was running a certain diet, and I was really, I was really lean at this point and just really tired and brain fog, just really like my brain wasn't firing, right? When you're running such a high deficit. And then I was able to have something with a bit of a higher dose of potassium, and I felt a lot better. And I was like, it almost started like my brain started firing, but I didn't get the calories. Lo and behold, I found out that majority of human beings on this planet Earth are actually deficient in potassium. And potassium, think about your brain like this wired electric circuits, and they're all firing neurons. And to fire, for quickness of thought, it needs a good healthy level of electrolytes. But specifically potassium, you could feel brain fog, and that just means that you're low on potassium. Now that doesn't mean go out there and eat a kilo of potassium. If you do, you're gonna die. So just be aware. Don't do that. But in this I understood, I was like, right. So potassium, and suddenly I'm, fired up. I had a bit more magnesium and potassium later that evening, and then I went to pee a lot, and my body dropped a lot of water weight and looked heaps better. And I was like, what? And that's how I kind of stemmed and got really deep into electrolytes. So the way I like to think about electrolytes is like this. When you're low carb, you need to be monitoring electrolytes more, but it's very hard to replenish because carbohydrates, they store water and they can store nutrition and stuff in them, so they can store potassium, store magnesium. But when you've got no carbs in you, all the water is dispelled, all the electrolytes went. So you need to kind of keep replenishing it. But the mental model to take around electrolytes is a lot of the times when you're not feeling good and you're not eating sugar or you're not on a caffeine crash, there could be a couple of things that could be making you feel a bit off and you think it might be hunger. Or your body might look like shit and you might think that that's because you're not going hard enough, or you need to eat less, or you need to move more, and that might not be correct. So first things first, if you have too much salt, you're going to retain water. And water looks flabby, like it looks fat, it looks like flabby, it doesn't look tight, it doesn't look, call it toned, right? So it just makes it flabby. Potassium, if you don't have enough potassium and a lot of sodium, you could be holding on to a lot of water. Low potassium, your brain is going to be foggy. You're just going to feel in general not very like energetic, but for a weird reason, like, oh, I'm not feeling energetic, maybe I'm hungry. Well, actually, have a good dose of potassium first. And then magnesium, if my cortisol is too stressed, if my muscles are tight, if everything's tight, or I'm, like we spoke yesterday in that yang energy, that is a good sign that you should have some magnesium. Magnesium calms everything down, right? If you're getting muscle spasms, not enough magnesium in there. So electrolytes is this thing that it doesn't have calories, it's not even spoken about much, but genuinely, if somebody gave me this and said, you know what, look into electrolytes and play with your balance of magnesium, salt, and potassium, and understand and try and, you know, when you're feeling a bit stressed, have some magnesium. When you're feeling like something's not firing that well, or you're kind of like crampy, maybe some salt, potassium. And electrolytes is about having a really good balance of it all. So I can't give you based on, you know, through the camera on what you exactly need, or should you be taking the recommended daily dose? No. But begin to, without changing anything else, just have some magnesium. See how you feel in an hour. Without changing anything else, have some salt. More salt if you haven't been having salt. Or maybe you have no idea how much salt you're having. How much salt are you having? Maybe decrease your salt, right? So playing with these three elements right here can improve your mood because you might not be too stressed. It can improve your cognitive function, which is your potassium. And with salt, it can make you look better or look worse, or lift better, like lift heavier weights, or perform better or lift worse. So electrolytes as an overall thing is super important. And not many people talk about it in the significance and the seriousness that they do. You have heaps of people go lift heavier, hit more reps, eat protein, eat this, but no one's actually talking about the three things that can make you feel really good or really bad in the process. I just want to give you that today. Play with electrolytes. Play with your electrolyte balance. You know, I should be able to my partner right now, if she ever goes, oh, I'm a bit stressed, how's your magnesium intake? Oh, haven't taken any in 2 days. Okay, so you've done 4 hours of running, you've replenished some fluids, you did replenish your salt, you did replenish your potassium, no magnesium, and you're worried why you're really high cortisol and like really like just edgy as shit, and cool, have some magnesium. Oh, that calmed me down, that's cool. Oh, I'm feeling lethargic. I can't be bothered for this workout. Have some potassium. See what happens. Not caffeine, not more water, not more food. Have some potassium. Have 500 milligrams of potassium, if you can find it, right? Have 500 milligrams of potassium. See how you feel. I do 2 hours of cardio. After the first hour of cardio, salt and potassium in the water. Guess what the second hour cardio? It feels like I'm literally restarting new. It's literally like I've got the energy anew to do the second hour of cardio. When most people are like, oh, how do you do your second hour? Everything's burning, everything's tough. And that used to be me. And I used to go, doesn't matter if it burns, you got to go harder, right? Now I'm like, well, you don't have to go harder. You have to go smarter. And I'd like to feel as good as I possibly physically can while I'm hungry and getting to the best shape of my life. I hope you will. I hope this is useful. We're going to do a tour of the house soon. And I hope that's useful. This is my new symbol, right? Because people have taken this, people have taken this, and it's like, I'm a rocker, and this is my new symbol. This is my symbol, coined here first, Andrew V, let's go. Also, I did want to tell you about business, because like, bodies are good and feeling great in your body is good, but also making heaps of cash is good. But also making heaps of cash with high integrity and making sure that you're not doing anything wrong and you're only improving other people's lives, never worsening, unlike Mr. Beast selling chocolate and sugar while he himself can't have sugar because he has Crohn's disease. Do you know what that's caused by? Processed sugar garbage crap, which he now sells and make billions off the kids, because the kids are like, nah, I want Mr. Beast bar. That has no integrity. That's why that person loses sleep, and if he ever stops, he's going to feel really depressed. So how do you make money and not do that and feel great in yourself and actually give... I'll tell you another day. Peace!